Gucci Mane isn't really Gucci Mane. That's Hobson. They gave him plastic surgery to become Gucci Mane. And now they saying Damar Hamlin isn't Damar Hamlin. And if you ever watched the TV show The Boys, you know about Noir. You know how Noir died, but they had somebody else come back to play him. That's crazy.
Get in here! Get in here! The conspiracy theories about Gucci Mane have taken an explosive turn, and what we're about to reveal will shake you to your core. Kanye West has stepped forward with bombshell revelations about the cloning allegations, and the truth is more disturbing than fiction. According to these shocking claims, the real Gucci Mane perished behind bars years ago, leaving behind a carefully crafted replacement. His wife Keisha isn't just a partner, she's allegedly a handler, paid to maintain control over this elaborate deception. While his ex-girlfriend Mac Breezy and even Nicki Minaj desperately tried to sound the alarm, the world dismissed their warnings as the ravings of jealous women. But what if they were the only ones brave enough to speak the truth? The foundation of this conspiracy traces back to a pivotal moment in 2013, when Gucci Mane's world came crashing down in spectacular fashion. His infamous Twitter rampage wasn't just a celebrity meltdown, it was a man spiraling into chaos, lashing out at every major figure in the industry. From Yo Gotti and Nicki Minaj to Waka Flocka and T.I., no one escaped his digital wrath. He made explosive accusations, claimed intimate encounters, and burned bridges with reckless abandon. This wasn't just anger, this was a man under the influence, destroying everything in his path while the industry watched in horror. Little did anyone know, this public breakdown would be the last authentic glimpse the world would get of the real Gucci Mane. The arrest that followed was no ordinary takedown. It was the beginning of an elaborate cover-up. When Atlanta police received frantic calls about an erratic man threatening innocent drivers, they had no idea they were about to apprehend hip-hop royalty in his final moments of freedom. Gucci didn't go quietly, he charged at officers like a man with nothing left to lose. The discovery of illegal substances and firearms sealed his fate, but this wasn't his first dance with the law. A previous incident involving a champagne bottle assault had already marked him as a repeat offender. The courts showed no mercy, 3 years and 3 months behind bars. But here's where the story takes a sinister turn. Only 2 years later, someone else would walk out of those prison gates wearing Gucci's face but carrying none of his authentic essence. What emerged from those prison walls was nothing short of miraculous, or terrifying, depending on your perspective. The narrative we were fed painted a picture of redemption, a man who found sobriety, embraced fitness, and transformed his entire existence. But the person who stepped into the spotlight bore little resemblance to the chaotic genius who had entered. The voice, the mannerisms, even the creative spark, everything seemed fundamentally altered. This wasn't just personal growth. This was a complete personality transplant. The clone theory gained momentum because the evidence was undeniable. The man who came out of prison was not the same man who went in. Every interview, every appearance, only deepened the mystery of what really happened during those missing 2 years. Enter Kesha, the woman who would become the puppet master in this elaborate charade. Her marriage to post-prison Gucci wasn't just a love story, it was the installation of a control system. She didn't just become his wife, she became his digital gatekeeper, his pharmaceutical supervisor, and his behavioral monitor. Every social media post filtered through her approval, every public appearance orchestrated under her watchful eye. The relationship dynamic screamed handler and asset, rather than husband and wife. When Nicki Minaj exposed these suspicious patterns, calling out Keisha's obsessive need for spotlight and her role in keeping Gucci sedated, she wasn't just throwing shade, she was connecting dots that painted a disturbing picture of calculated manipulation. Mac Breezy's revelations weren't just the bitter words of a scorned ex-lover, they were the desperate warnings of someone who knew the real Gucci intimately. Her accounts of meeting him post-prison read like a psychological thriller, the uncanny valley effect of recognizing a face, but not the soul behind it. She described encounters where Kesha would interrupt conversations, as if protecting a secret that couldn't withstand too much scrutiny. Mac's claims weren't isolated incidents. They formed a pattern of someone frantically trying to prevent others from discovering the truth. Her final encounter with Gucci at Patchwork Studio in 2010 became a haunting timestamp, the last authentic interaction with a man who may have been replaced entirely.
You don't even know the real Gucci. Y'all think y'all know the real Gucci. Y'all don't know the real Gucci. That nigga parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. That's not him. I don't know what the fuck, honestly. Like, last time I seen Gucci was at Patchwork Studio in 2010. Cold Blooded was there. Was Mojo there? Yeah, I think Mojo, Cold Blooded. Like, this the last time I saw Gucci in the flesh, but even that was...
When confronted with these mounting allegations, the response was textbook damage control. The carefully crafted explanation spoke of personal growth and transformation, using therapeutic language about morphing into a different person and shedding old ways. But these weren't the authentic reflections of someone who had genuinely evolved. They were the rehearsed responses of someone following a script. The emphasis on loving the person I was, am, and grew to be felt hollow, like someone trying to convince the world of a transformation they hadn't actually experienced. Every word seemed calculated to explain away the inconsistencies rather than address the genuine concerns of those who knew the original Gucci Mane. The moment Kanye West entered this narrative, everything changed. His history of exposing industry secrets gave his allegations unprecedented weight. This wasn't just another celebrity conspiracy theory. It was a whistleblower with insider knowledge connecting the dots. Kanye's own experiences with industry manipulation lent credibility to his claims about Gucci's replacement. His timing wasn't coincidental, it was strategic, adding his voice to a chorus of people who had been trying to expose the truth. The fact that people had once questioned Kanye's own authenticity only strengthened his position as someone who understood the industry's capacity for deception and replacement. Hobson's Instagram live confession wasn't just entertainment, it was a smoking gun hidden in plain sight. His detailed account of industry coercion, complete with descriptions of white rooms and Gucci bodysuits, reads like a science fiction horror story. But the specificity of his claims, the fear in his voice when discussing threats to his family, and the timing of his revelations suggest something far more sinister than creative storytelling. The image he painted of being forced to literally become someone else or face consequences provides a chilling framework for understanding how such replacements might occur. His 8-year timeline of compliance suggests this isn't a recent phenomenon, but a long-standing industry practice. The physical evidence supporting these theories continues to mount, with observers noting subtle but significant changes that can't be explained by natural evolution. The alteration in eye color, the constant use of sunglasses to obscure facial features, and the fundamental shift in personality all point to something beyond simple personal growth. Fan testimonials about sensing something definitely off aren't just nostalgia for the old Gucci. They're intuitive responses to uncanny valley effects. The collective unease suggests that people are detecting inconsistencies at a subconscious level, recognizing that something essential about the person they once knew has been fundamentally altered or replaced entirely.